Tuesday morning, which means it's time for Pop-Off Politics. Every week, we examine Houston's city council agenda. Today, we're highlighting a big case involving Houston police that is now being settled. KPRC 2 investigator Mario Diaz joins us in studio. Mario, as always, it's good to see you, sir. Always appreciate you stopping by. You know, these are two things we don't really hear together, HPD and settlements, right?
No, especially with the history that we've seen here in the past. But as you indicated, we don't hear it too often. But you're going to hear more about it today through tomorrow. City council members are going to be hearing a lot about it with the case of one particular gentleman. His name is Andre Howard. Okay, let's look at the agenda item here. It's graphic right there, agenda item number 18. Let me give you the background on this. In July of 2019, a case involving two HPD officers who made a traffic stop of Andre Howard. Okay, it says an ordinance approving and authorizing a settlement and release agreement between Andre Howard and the city of Houston to settle this civil lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas. Now, we covered this case back in 2020 when the federal lawsuit was filed. It involved a gentleman by the name of Andre Howard. He had been pulled over an expired registration. He was handcuffed. He broke free. He fled. One HPD officer there, Lucas Vieira, was chasing him along with his partner. He yelled to his partner, according to the federal lawsuit, to shoot him in the back. And then when Vieira caught up with him, according to the lawsuit, he used his handcuffs. He wrapped them around his hands, creating what the lawsuit claims was essentially homemade brass knuckles. And in an instant, he hit him there several times. And Vieira was kicked off the force back in April of 2021. But he, along with four other officers, were named in this federal civil rights lawsuit for excessive use of force, including former Chief Art Acevedo. He was one of the four individuals that was referenced in this lawsuit. So obviously this is a situation that many people are going to have questions about. And ultimately, I have to clear up here that Vieira was indicted by the Harris County District Attorney's Office over this case. It's a case that when we saw it on the agenda here for Pop-Off Politics this week, we're kind of like, wow, this is happening. And it kind of like was below the radar there for quite some time.
And Howard suffered physical and mental trauma during this incident.
Yeah, and according to him, he did. And officers say that, he says that he was humiliated by officers because they pulled down his pants at one point along the road there, exposing him to drivers who were driving past that scene. So obviously this was a challenging case. And again, we're starting to see this get settled.
This has been a low-key incident.
Right.
The people you're talking to, though, do they seem surprised?
Yeah, you know, when I brought it up to some people, some City Hall insiders about this and talking, they were a bit surprised.
Right.
Because we've heard so much about this other case out there called Harding Street. And you haven't heard much about traction in that particular case. There's been a lot of obstacles put up by the city as this family filed their civil lawsuit in that case, in which obviously the facts here were pretty clear. And then you've had other incidents here, Astroworld here, that have happened here of late. So this has been a case that's been kind of quietly to the side. So when it popped up on the actual agenda, we were like, they're settling this thing.
For how much?
About $200,000 is what they're settling this case for right now.
Wow. So, what is Howard or his attorneys saying to you at this point?
Well, I did reach out to Howard's attorneys. He understood exactly why I was calling him about this. His response to me, Zach? No comment.
No comment, of course. So what happens today?
So what happens today is you're going to have, obviously, at the pop-off situation, you're going to have members of the public come in. This is why we call this pop-off politics, okay? In Houston City Council, every Tuesday, the public is allowed to pop off if they have a comment with regards to a particular agenda item. This is on the agenda, again, agenda number 18. And you're going to have people comment on this. You're going to have city council members talk about this. And I'm sure at tomorrow's city council meeting, which takes place every Wednesday, City Council, I'm sure you're going to hear some of the city council members have questions about it as well.
Before I let you go, I want to talk to you about last week's subject. We were talking a lot about AG Paxton.
Yes.
Where do things stand?
So, yeah, I mean, obviously the last time you and I spoke, there was the impeachment in the House with regards to the aid. And this is a huge thing that everyone's talking about with regards to pop-off politics statewide, right? AG Paxton now is facing an impeachment trial in the Senate. We still don't have a clear-cut date as to when.
A timeline, right?
Right, as to when they're going to have this trial, because everybody's wondering, first off, how is this going to work? When are they going to have it?
Right.
We do know that the rules for the trial are going to be set around June the 20th. That's when we should be getting the date. The trial cannot happen no later than August 28th, according to the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. My hunch, and people that I'm talking with, I wouldn't be surprised if you see something there early August.
Early August.
Early August, from what I'm gathering from individuals that I've been talking to, familiar with this up in Austin. And just looking at the timetable, I will tell you that the attorneys really aren't talking too much about this.
Of course, yeah.
Because this is a big deal. You have 4 big attorneys. You got Dick
Loaded
DeGuerin.
from Houston, right?
Yeah, all from Houston. You have Dick DeGuerin. You have obviously Rusty Hardin. You have Tony Dusby. You have Dan Cogdale. It's going to be an intriguing time in the state capitol. I'm glad you asked that question. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Mario, thank you as always. Remember, if it's Tuesday, it's time for Pop-Off Politics. Every Tuesday morning right here, KPRC 2 Plus now at 8. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.